Yo, bro, what you saying? So, a lot of guys feel like they fail self-improvement in a lot of aspects. And I've been here, right? You feel like you have to somewhat restart your self-improvement journey because you've just kept relapsing, you've kept failing, you've been skipping gym sessions, you've not been doing the good habits, you've been watching porn, you've been just eating shitty food, you've just not been doing any of the shit. You've just been in like a massive rut, basically. You've been in a massive rut, to summarize it. And you feel like, okay, now I need to restart my journey. How do I get out of this rut and restart? How do I get back onto self-improvement? Or how do I, start from scratch, get back into meditation and then, gradually increase the amount of time I'm doing it and implement the gym, just do some push-ups and pull-ups and then, start implementing workouts, all this kind of jazz, right? You got to realize that self-improvement is not something that you're on, firstly. It's not, I'm not on self-improvement, just like you're not on NoFap, just like you're not on, you're not on no video games, no alcohol. This is a lifelong thing. This is something that you decide to do. You decide to improve your life. You decide that you do not want to be mediocre. You decide that you want to be someone who's not normal, essentially. Now, does this mean that you go around thinking that you're better than other people? Does this mean that you go around treating other people who aren't on self-improvement disrespectfully? Absolutely not. You treat everyone with respect. You treat everyone with, as a human being. Okay? But at the same time, you know for a fact that you don't really want to be like the people that you see around you. Maybe at your job, at your school. For me, it was at school. I didn't know a single person around me who had a similar mind. Okay, maybe one or two people, right? But I didn't know anyone who was as dedicated to this path of self-improvement, you could say, as I was. This isn't me bragging or anything. I just didn't know anyone personally. Maybe there was someone else, but I didn't speak to them. I didn't know them, okay? And I've had stages of this. I've had, last year was a big stage. I had a pretty big rut. You could call it a rut. I was still doing the good habits, but wasn't really making any progress in anything. It was around 6 months long. Exams had just finished, so we just finished school, came off it, realised that I didn't really have any friends in real life apart from the ones that I was hanging out with at school. So I hung out with them a lot outside of school, ended up doing a lot of bad habits. They were smoking a lot of weed. Basically, I was just doing all the things with them, which I originally distanced myself from them because of, So I distanced myself from them outside of school because they were smoking weed and playing a lot of video games and eating shitty food, all this stuff. And they weren't really positive influence. They also had very, very limiting beliefs about themselves, and they had very limited mindsets in terms of where they could go. So they always talk about, getting rich and being super wealthy and living the dream life, but they'd never put in the work. And they'd always basically say like, oh, yeah, that'd be sick, but I couldn't do that. That was basically their mentality, right? It was very limited. They had a very, not a growth mind, the opposite of a growth mindset, basically. I can't remember the other term, but scarcity mindset, I'm not sure. Anyway, and I fell back into a bit of a rut just around them because they weren't a positive influence. They were nice people, they weren't horrible people, but they weren't a good influence. Let's just put it that way. And I fell into a rut, just wasting time, doing the good habits, coping, saying I was still on self-improvement, but I wasn't. I was just coping. How you get out of this is the reason you came to this video, right? What you've got to realize is, again, though, is what I said before. This is not something that you're on, that you just restart, that you just get off and you hop back onto. This is a lifelong journey. This is a lifelong journey, and I think you have to be careful not to let this idea of you being on self-improvement dictate all of your actions. Because sure, is doing stuff like partying and drinking alcohol necessary? Is it probably bad for you? Yes. Does it mean that if you do those things that you've now failed self-improvement? No. It's just something that you did. That doesn't really conform to your new way of life. Your current way of life, that is, which is improving your life. And of course, drinking, going out partying is kind of a waste of time. You're losing sleep. You don't feel great in the morning, But for the most part, it's not that big of a deal going forward. And you might learn something valuable from it. This isn't me telling you to go out partying and get drunk. My point being is that view this as a lifelong thing. And when it comes to bad habits and relapses and falling back into a rut, again, you've got to realize this is a rocky road and growth is not linear. You think it looks like this, it's more like, but what it does is it will go up and down, but the average growth is upwards. The average growth is linear. It is going up constantly. All that matters is that you stay on this path and you constantly keep it in your mind. I am someone who wants the best for myself. I love myself. I love myself. I want the best for myself. I want to live the best life I can. That's true to me, which means that I'm not going to do these bad things because I know they're bad for me. I know they don't benefit me. I know they'll only make my life worse. Why would I do them? Why am I doing them? Oh, okay, so why am I doing them? Because I'm hanging around with people who do these things, so I'm getting influenced by them to do these things. Okay, I should probably stop hanging out with them. A lot of the time, it just comes down to outside influences, or it comes down to a lot of people think like, you know, how do I stop doing these things? Sometimes it's literally just like triggers from your environment. It could be the simplest of things, and I think if you just sat down and took the time to really think about this stuff, you would figure out, like, oh shit, this is the reason I keep doing this. Oh, I keep scrolling on YouTube because YouTube is the first app that I see when I open my phone. Oh, I keep playing video games. I keep going back on the Discord party because Discord opens automatically when I go on my PC, kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So remove the triggers. That's something I would say. Make it unattractive as well. Realize to yourself, these bad things do not benefit you and they do not conform to the life that you want to live. You want to live a life where you're living the best life possible. You're the happiest possible. And these bad habits, well, they make your life worse. Why would you do them? Waste of time, waste of energy. You could be putting that energy into better things. You're not the kind of person who conforms to instant dopamine because you know that delayed gratification is, you know, that's what's going to bring you the most joy and happiness in life. It's going to make you the most disciplined. So if you're thinking, oh, I need to restart self-improvement because I've been in this massive rut and it's been awful, there's no restarting. This is a lifelong thing and you're not on anything, okay? You're not on self-improvement. You are improving your life constantly. You want the best for yourself. See it as that. You're not on self-improvement. You just want the best for your life. You want the best for yourself. You love yourself. You're improving yourself constantly. You're a lifelong improver. When you see yourself on a movement, it's not good for you because it means that you have to be on a movement to not do a bad thing. When it should just be in your identity, it should just be yourself. You should just say, no, I don't do this thing because I know it's bad for me. I don't watch porn because I know it's bad for me. I don't drink alcohol. I don't play video games because I know they're bad for me. They're a waste of time. But that's because I know they're bad for me, not because someone else told me they were bad for me. Did I discover they were bad for me because someone else told me? Okay, fine. But for the most part, it's like, I know for me, I wouldn't do those things. I'm improving for me. I'm improving to benefit those around me. I'm not improving just because someone else told me to. I'm not improving just because I'm on this movement and I've got a leader, I've got a cult leader. No. So there's no restarting self-improvement, okay? Just remember that. But yeah, I hope this video helps you in some kind of way. If you want to get coached by me one-on-one, coaching is down below. Also got a Discord server, that's also down below. Both links are in the description. Until the next one, boys, stay focused.